In today's world of adrenaline-packed action sports, there are few athletes that have achieved a level of success like Jolene Van Vugt. From her years of racing motocross in Canada, through her years as a cast member on Nitro Circus, and now a Hollywood Stunt Woman, Jolene's passion for off-road and power sports was what drew Polaris to sign her up as a brand ambassador so she could inspire others to pursue adventures of their own. This is her story.
My introduction to power sports was through motocross, and that came through my dad's passion for motorcycles. I was on motorcycles from a very young age. Basically since I was about 6 months old, my dad had me out on his street bikes with him. One of my most favorite photos I have is of my dad and I on one of his bikes. I just cherish that photo so much because it really encompasses who I am and where I came from. I think I was about 4 years old when my dad and my brother started racing. And as a family, we started going to the racetracks all the time. From that moment forward, we were at the racetracks every Sunday, following the program in southwestern Ontario, Canada, and racing all the time. It is what my dad loved to do, and he taught my brother, and my brother fell in love with it as well. And then when I was about 10 years old, 10 or 11, I asked my dad if I could race. At the time, in the late 80s, early 90s, in our club, there wasn't any young girls. It wasn't something where 3- and 4-year-old little girls were on bikes and striders. That didn't exist back then. So I didn't really have an example in front of me going, oh, I want to be just like that girl or like that young girl or even that teenager. The youngest girl, I think, riding at that time was a 19-year-old and a 41-year-old. And those were the two women that I saw on motorcycles, and that was it. So it was really hard to have something to associate myself to. I thought you had to be older as a woman maybe to ride. So when I asked my dad if this was something that I could do, he of course was like, yeah, is it something you want to do? It had nothing to do with my age, my gender. He just didn't think I was interested. So when I took an interest, he was very excited to include me with him and Billy and going to the races and going to the practice tracks. And so that's kind of how it happened. Also, just the relationship my dad and my brother had through riding. Community of racing, that is a very unique thing as well. Within power sports, I've noticed that as a whole, that the family and the community, that special, unique bond that you get when you go to a racetrack and you see the pits, you see the mom, you see the dad, you see the kids, everyone's always together. And if you ever need any help, you can go to anyone. If you've never met them in your entire life, but they're pitted next to you and you need assistance, that person will help you like they are part of your family.
Jolene's successes within the Canadian motocross circuit led her to chase victory south of the border as well. Little did she know at the time what the future actually had in store for her.
Through action sports and motocross, I met Travis Pastrana. We met at Loretta Lynn's, which is the biggest amateur national in the US. It is a very prestigious race. And I was able to ride there a handful of times. And he was, there hanging out. And I met him through a mutual friend. And then a few years later, I was racing the women's pro circuit at this point into the 2000s. And we had one race that was sort of above his house and the next race that was below. So the week in between, we had some downtime. And me and my two friends, Sarah Whitmore and Jessica Foster, who I was racing the Women's Pro Series with, we went to Trav's to hang out for the week. And he just happened to be trying to find a female to teach to backflip a dirt bike at that time. At that time, there was not that many men that had even backflipped a dirt bike. It was still very new in the freestyle motocross industry. So he said, hey, Jolene, do you want to try to backflip a dirt bike? And it's like, well, I don't think I can do it, but sure, of course I'll try. I'll try jumping into the foam pit and having all of that type of experience and seeing what it's all about. And at the end of the day, it'll just be a fun thing that I tried, and then I'll go on to the race and go back to my life in Canada when it's all over with. That moment actually was a pivotal one for me. It changed the direction of where I would go for the rest of my life. And I took the opportunity to learn how to backflip from Travis, and that sort of wrote a lot of the rest of the story for me.
Dirt Tracks is sponsored by MBRP Performance Exhaust, built for the victory lap.
Jolene Van Vugt.
If you've ever seen a Nitro Circus video or DVD or been to a live show, I mean, you can see the love, you can see the energy, you can see the support. Because when somebody tries something for the first time or lands something, there's just so much energy. And it's an energy you can't really explain. You just can't get it anywhere else.
First front flip from Jolene.
I definitely have never experienced it anywhere else in my life. I've never performed really in a live show other than one other time, and I've never flipped before, so.
She's the only one. She takes it seriously. You know, she wants so badly to perform and entertain that crowd and land it that she can be really, really hard on herself.
I became the first female to ever backflip a dirt bike, a full-size motorcycle, and it sort of catapulted me into the Nitro Circus. It brought the attention on me from Travis of the fact that I was strong, durable, talented, stubborn, and all of these attributes that, you know, make a very good action sports athlete, make a very good stunt person. And he just started to invite me to more and more trips after that. Every time they would film something for the Nitro Circus DVDs, I would get a phone call, hey, can you make it here? We're gonna do this. My answer from that point on was always yes. And, you know, within the next few months, I was constantly just traveling around and doing rad Nitro Circus stuff, and that sort of catapulted me into that world.
We are getting to hang out with reindeer. We're going to race them today.
Oh, easy, easy, easy. It's all yours. Oh, God.
You got him?
I don't know. I just know that he's crazy, and he'll probably end up taking me out with him this time.
Joe, oh, I have bad starts. She freaking smoked it.
I am so grateful for all the love and support and experience that I had with Nitro Circus. It was the most epic time of my life, getting to travel the world with the most talented action sports athletes that exist. And not only that these people became my friends, some became such good friends, they became family. These people became teachers. These people became inspirations. They became the people that helped me build who I became within Nitro Circus. And especially with Travis Pastrana, one of the things he loved the most and loves the most still to this day is the unknown.
Joe, you are my hero.
Always wanting to see if something is possible. And at the end of the day, the Grand Canyon was one of those situations. For me, that was a lot of the unknown. I had never jumped into the Grand Canyon before. Obviously, not very many people have. And at that point, I had never skydived or base jumped. So there was a lot of elements I had to learn first before going to the jump. Travis asked me to perform this stunt with him, and my immediate answer was yes, because I was so excited about doing it. It seemed like the most epic, amazing adventure and journey, and I just wanted to be a part of it. So I was willing to go that extra mile and make sure that we did everything possible to make that a success.
From my angle, I'm tracking out and look back, and she's still with the bike. She's facing the canyon. It looks like they're about to hit. I'm just like, if she doesn't open, I'm just going in.
I gave him the thumbs up. I was like, I'm good. And he's like,
Yeah, I got some crazy friends.
Dirt Tracks is sponsored by Princess Auto, Make it work.
With the rise in popularity of sport side-by-sides, it wasn't long before the Polaris RZR became the inspiration for a new breed of stunts amongst the Nitro Circus crew.
My introduction to Polaris was actually through Nitro Circus. Getting to do a lot of the different stunts that we were doing, we started using the UTVs, and I instantly fell in love with them. It gave me a sense of what I always got from my dirt bike, but in a new form. I was able to get in this car, be on four wheels, be experiencing something that was still new, but brought up all these old amazing emotions that I would get from my dirt bikes.
When we asked Jolene what it is about sport side-by-sides that make them so attractive to off-road enthusiasts, she immediately zeroed in on the driver-centric attributes of her Polaris RZR. It's a vehicle that is instantly loved by everyone who spends any time behind the wheel.
The Polaris RZR is such an awesome, fun side-by-side. When I get in it and I set out on an adventure, I have the best day. Every single person that sits in that passenger seat with me falls in love with it, and most times they want to go buy one themselves.
Whether it be racing, riding in the dunes, or days exploring new terrain with friends and family, Jolene has made it very clear. When you get in the driver's seat of a RZR, you are guaranteed to have unique experiences.
It really is just something you can get in, have fun. It doesn't matter your skill level. The Polaris RZR is one of those unique tools that anyone can go out and have fun with.
Jolene has never been a person who sits still for very long. She lives by the old adage, life is what you make it. In her mind, if you want something, you have to get up, work hard, and make it happen, and she's grateful for the support Polaris has given her many projects, including her involvement with the Powersports Women's Riding Council. Powerful female role models is something Hollywood has also embraced, something Jolene has seen firsthand as a Hollywood stunt woman.
Becoming a Hollywood stunt woman, well, this one stems back a long time. So I had absolutely no idea how to get into that type of an industry or how that door would ever be a possibility of opening. Nitro Circus for me was that outlet. It gave me the feeling of being a stunt performer or a stunt woman. Although at that point, I still never claimed that as my title because I held such a high respect for the stunt community. And I just wanted to eventually, be able to call myself a Hollywood stunt performer. And really, in probably just a really cool, poetic way, I was actually approached by Hollywood and sort of discovered in that way. I had a coordinator hit me up, and it was probably one of the most surreal moments I had ever had. And it went something along the lines like this. Would you be interested in doubling Anne Hathaway as Catwoman on the Batpod in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, Dark Knight Rises? And I mean, to me, that didn't even sound like a real sentence. I was like, this has got to be some type of a joke. If this is real, my answer is absolutely yes. And the coordinator then said, I have to fly you out. If you can ride the Batpod, you get the job. Within the first day, I was ripping around the track with the other Batman double, and I got the job. And it has led me down a road of lots of amazing opportunities, getting to work on television shows, many more feature films and commercials. My most latest and pretty cool experience was working on the new Matrix that'll be coming out, Matrix 4. It definitely has felt like a natural transition from Nitro Circus. I have always felt at home when I'm ever on set, and I just know that it's something I'm going to want to do for a very, very long time.
Throws the first ever woman one-handed back.
While Jolene will always be a legend in the power sports and action sports communities, her newest endeavor, joint ownership of a lodge located in Big Bear, California, opens up new opportunities to share her passion for off-road adventure.
Recently, I became part of a partnership that bought this amazing piece of property on the north shore of Big Bear Lake called Fawnskin. Outpost is a great location for so many different types of events, from media days to family gatherings or any event you could think of. We have a great piece of property here at the Outpost. It's one of the reasons I was drawn to it. We are located close to some of the most popular trailheads. I'm really excited about the next chapter of my life and getting to include the Outpost and everything that the future may bring.